Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's review for the Expanse Season 5, Episode 1, Exodus. This video is a part of a series of videos where I review episodes of the Expanse. So I have to start with a spoiler warning for the Expanse. Up to Season 5, Episode 1, if you haven't seen up to this point, you will not want to watch this video. Otherwise, some things will be spoiled for you. So, Amazon Prime, in their wisdom, did not drop the entire season this year. If you've seen any of my reaction videos to this, I'm thrilled about that. But they did drop the first 3 episodes all at once. However, I have decided to review each episode individually, so I am recording this audio right after watching episode 1 and before watching episodes 2 and 3. So I have yet to see those yet. I will cover those episodes in separate videos. So, as for the premiere episode, episode was a lot shorter. It felt short to me, and ended like really fast. It says it's 43 minutes, so I guess that's like normal episode size. But I was still like, when it ended, I'm like, that's it. But I guess that's why they dropped 3 episodes at once. I suppose it's meant to be sort of just the introduction to the show, because that's pretty much what it happens. It lays the groundwork to where everyone's at. So let me start with the opening scene, which was really intense and of course a great way to open the season with you spend a little bit of time with these scientists, like studying these rocks and hitting Venus, and they're so excited and nerdy in their scientist way, and they seem cute and quaint, and then Philip and the other Belters come on board and kill them, which was quite like brutal. And it's always the way the Expanse has been. It doesn't pull any punches, and it does something really brutal. But also bearing in mind that this is Naomi's son, the son that she's looking for, that she loves, and here we see him raid unarmed scientists and shoot them down and kill them in cold blood. So it shows the kind of man he is, which really brings a different dynamic when you think that this is the person Amy is looking for. So that was pretty intense, and it goes along, of course, with Mark Renard's throwing rocks. We saw that at the end of season 4, that projected course was Earth, but these rocks hit Venus. But they do a lot of shots of the rocks, so it's obvious that they do play in importance. So then we go back to the Resonate. And it's interesting that Amos and Alex had already left, just leaving Naomi and Holden behind. You got some inner politics on Tycho Station with this asshole guy saying Resonate doesn't deserve the breaks that they get, and another engineer who is obviously on the Resonate's side and is very friendly with Naomi. So that's all pretty interesting. And then you get Holden, who's approached by Monica Stewart. So it's great seeing her. Hadn't seen her since season 3. The reporter, of course, they showed her on the previously on, and obviously she's like, "Oh, we can just talk. It's just you and me." But then they show from her perspective that she has a camera in her contact lens or whatever, which is so like her. And I think Holden sees right through her because it kind of knows the kind of reporter that she is. But she brings up that there's experiments with the protomolecule going on in the belt, and of course Holden denies it, but he knows for a fact that Fred Johnson has a sample, so he storms into his office and demands to know if he and Dawes are doing experiments on the protomolecule. Now, Fred Johnson dodges the question, and Holden does note how Fred doesn't specifically say no, but he continues to dodge the question and instead tries to justify having the protomolecule and just tells Holden that I won't tell you where it is. You just gotta trust me, and then we need to have it for the betterment of the belt. And and he talks about these warships that they're building so that the belt can control all travel through the ring space without any help from the inners. And he says once that's done, then I'll destroy the protomolecule. But for now, we need it in order to establish our power. This doesn't, of course, make Holden very happy. And he responds by telling him what happened on Ellis, showing him the reports from Elvie about the Eye of the Angry God thingy, and trying to iterate to Johnson how dangerous this is and how something killed the proto-molecule creators. And this is something that's kind of touched on and mentioned in newscasts and whatnot throughout the episodes, that it is a point they're trying to drive home, or at least get people to remember that something killed these proto-molecule creators that we still don't know what it is. And Elvie kind of encountered it, and Holden says that he believes that Miller did something to his brain, so whenever he goes through the ring, he sees them and they look angrier every time. But Fred Johnson, of course, is very dismissive of this. He's saying, "Oh, you just have speculation. You're just afraid of something," and saying that you have brain damage doesn't help your case, which I thought was a pretty cool line. So this is kind of the relationship that Fred Johnson and Holden always had, this kind of antagonistic relationship. But then Fred Johnson kind of tries to mend fences and sit him down and look, stop worrying about the end of the world. You got a ship, you got a good girlfriend who loves you, just enjoy life. And I think Fred Johnson's being sincere. I don't think he necessarily cares if Holden happy, and I think he is kind of just saying this to get Holden to shut up and get off his back. But I think he is sincere and look, you should just enjoy life. But Holden kind of, doesn't sit entirely well with him. And then earlier, Fred Johnson had given Naomi the coordinates to her son, or told her that her son was on Palace Station, or last seen there, and she'd seemed very troubled since then. And then she confronts Holden, and Holden's like, "When do we leave? I'll get the Resonate ready." "Oh, okay, I'll I'll start packing." And she's like, "No, you don't get it. You're not coming with me." Now, I don't know, there seems to be some fan base, part of the fan base that despise Naomi, which I don't really understand that. But I kind of could see how they could interpret this act as kind of selfish, or kind of ill-advised, kind of not very intelligent, because having Holden there would probably help her in the end to have backup. Even though she's worried that having Earther around will make things more difficult, but he's like, "I'll just wait in the shuttle and I'll just be back up." And she's like, "No." And I think it has more to do with shame and pride. So I do think she's not being completely rational by turning him down. But, Holden's Holden. He loves her. And I don't know if he completely understands, but he's going to, respect her wishes in this manner. And we see her going off on her adventure. So we also see Bobby Draper on Mars, as apparently she's still looking into this conspiracy with Avasarala's help, which I was surprised, because at the end of season 4, when Bobby asked for Avasarala's help, she said, "Bobby, your timing fucking sucks." But as we learn later, Avasarala is still a member of Parliament. She's no longer the Secretary General, but she still has some power, and that's the way she was in the second season as well. So it seems like Bobby Draper is working with her in her new position and trying to uncover this conspiracy. We see her buying illegal technology, and she tries to dig deeper to find out where, who's stealing the stealth tech and where all this is coming from, and the contact immediately pushes her away. So that's very interesting. But then Alex arrives on Mars, and he has his interchain with the Martian patrol that lets him land, and he flies in on the Julie Mao's racing ship, the Razorback, I love that ship. But anyway, he flies in on that, and they're like, "Oh, it's a good thing you didn't come on the Tachi, otherwise we wouldn't let you in." I'm like, really? You're still on that? Avasarala officially went to Mars and made them drop the lawsuit against the Resonate, but I guess they're sore losers and they're still sour. They're still clawing at the fucking Tachi. Come on. Get over it. But anyway, so Alex lands on Mars, and he tries to make nice. I feel really bad for Alex in this episode. Everyone treats him like shit. And he has such a happy-go-lucky attitude too, and everyone's just like, "Fuck off." Well, I can understand his wife's reaction, or ex-wife's reaction. That kind of makes sense. In fact, he's kind of stupid not to expect her. And the way she says it, like, so what's the response you want from me? Quite cold, but I think he kind of deserved it. I mean, he did, like, disappear for, like, a couple of years without even letting them know he's still alive. So, yeah. He is kind of deserving it. And then he talks to his son via the comm, and he seems a bit distant to him as well, and that's inconsistent unless, of course, the son changed his mind, maybe bring around his mother too much, sort of poisoned him against Alex. But last time we saw his son communicate with him, he loved him very much and was like, I'm very proud to be your son, and I want to join the Navy just like you and be a good Martian. But now all of a sudden he's just really cold, which I'm not saying that's bad writing, because, you know, kids do change when they get older. It's been a couple of years, and as I said, maybe his mother kind of poisoned him against him, but it's kind of disappointing to see. Although he wasn't nearly as cold to Alex as, ex-wife was, but again, that's understandable. But what really bothered me is that Bobby was being really an asshole to him, and that surprised me. Like, I didn't understand that. I'm still expecting Bobby to ask for his help. I mean, it seems like, and I went over this in season 4, even then, like, she should have went to the Rosnate or Alex in particular for help, and now Alex is right there in front of her. Instead of asking him to help with, which obviously she knows that he's capable, she knows that he's willing, and also, having help with the Rosnate would come in handy, but instead she's just like an asshole to him and tells him, makes him feel even worse for trying to get in touch with his son. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad writing or anything like that, but it did annoy me that she acted in that way. Yeah, so that was interesting. So we also get Amos is on his way back to Earth, and he, they spell it out in the scene with Avasarala that he's going, someone who raised him had passed away, and he's going to take care of her affairs. And we see him on the Belter ship, and he just, he has the money. He could stay in the first class suite and luxurious, but he refuses. And plus, he's just traveling on a sort of low-class Belter ship as well, and he goes right in with, the lower class, and it seems like that's Amos for you. But when they try making conversation with him, he just, like, ignores them, and it's kind of just, like, very silent, doesn't say anything. But when thugs come in and try to pull, what do they call these things? A protection racket, I believe they call it. Amos won't stand for it, and he's like, no one here is paying for your damn insurance. And he purposely goes for a shower because he knows they will attack him. He's like, I don't like waiting. And of course, Amos doesn't kill, because he says later, I swear they were all alive when I left, which was funny. But he beats the crap out of them, like, really badly. And that's Amos for you. I almost wish, like, they showed us more of this journey, and, like, him bonding more with the people that he was protecting, and them at least being thankful for that. But whatever, this is, great Amos stuff, totally in line with this character. And of course, his interchange with Avasarala was great when she's like, why are you coming to Earth? You're doing it for Holden. And he's just like, he didn't want to tell her because, like, none of your damn business. But she's like, you're not getting in. You're not going to clear customs until you tell me. She's like, fine. And he lays it out. And she's like, okay. And they have a drink and make a callback to season 3 that Amos was the one who taught Avasarala how to walk in gravity boots. So that was nice. So that was pretty cool. Again, mostly just setting up what's to come. And then, the general who, from the trailers, this looked like this will be the main general guy that Avasarala is dealing with. So probably, somewhat important character going on through the rest of the season. And they talk about the science ship that was destroyed, how they think it may be Anaris who's responsible. And they try to, and talk about how great it will be to see him hang, but then we get more ominous shots of Anaris looking badass, and they're watching this recording when he's giving this speech, like, oh, they need to hate us or whatever, and this shows a scene of him looking badass as he's looking at all the course of the projectiles headed to Earth. So, very ominous way to end the episode. So, as I said, this is pretty much just setting the stage. But of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And as I said, it's probably why they released all 3 episodes at once. It's not necessarily meant to be looked at individually, but hey, that's what I'm doing anyway. So anyway, my rating for Exodus out of 10, we give this an 8. Extremely good. Oh my god, it's just so good to see the Expanse on. The whole, like, for the first whole 20 minutes I was watching this episode, I was just like, oh, I can't believe it, it's on. And I had to sort of eventually get over that. It's so great to see all the characters we know and love. It's very good setup, interesting character interactions between Amos and Avasarala, between Holden and Fred Johnson, between Holden and Monica Stewart. The Alex stuff kind of annoyed me. Everyone's being an asshole to him. And of course Amos stuff, always great. Amos is Amos, like, good stuff. Anyway, so it was a good episode. It was it's not spectacular, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to set up the season, and it does that really well. So that's it for my review of Exodus. I will be back dropping my reviews for season 5, episode 2 and 3, pretty much on the same day as this, so you could probably jump straight into watching those. Also, be sure to check out my channel tomorrow night, Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. West Coast time, where I'll be doing a live discussion on all 3 of these episodes that dropped with Darren from D's Reviews and my sister Alyssa. So you can join us in the chat for that, or watch it afterwards in the archives, and we're going to talk about all 3 of these episodes and what we thought. So be sure to check me out for that. Also check out my channel for many other reviews on Discovery, all of Star Trek shows, Breaking Bad, and The Outer Limits. So be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all of that. And thanks a lot for watching.